Hey, what's up guys, how's it going? So what I wanted to go ahead and kind of discuss today was kind of like, what is exactly my secret to being able to build up an enormous number of troops? And also kind of like, how is it exactly that I'm able to rebuild as fast as I am after I get zeroed? Alright, now, I'm going to say this from my experience, alright? Right from the get-go, you can notice I've got quite a bit of resources, alright? Right from the get-go. And the reason why is because of extra supplies. So FYI, if you ever have gotten zeroed, you probably might have noticed that extra supplies gives you about 50%. You'll also find that in the familiar tree, there's a lot of interesting new little abilities. You'll go looking for them at some point because you'll start to think to yourself, what exactly is so nice about Pyrus? Well, it happens to give you more extra supplies, and so by upgrading that ability, you'd get more resources after you get zeroed. And the point is, right, is so for me, after I got zeroed, I had like a couple 100 million, alright? I also had about 600,000 left after being zeroed. So for me, it is not really hard to really rebuild. And actually what I did, or at least what I chose to do, is I took all of the resources and all the energy, all the speeds and everything, and I saved it while I was building up. The way I can rebuild now is I took all of that energy and threw it straight into a Hell Dragon. Alright, and my current goal now, by the end of this month, is to have 15,000, roughly, at random every 3 days of tier 4 units. So for me, alright, to rebuild, an easy way to do it is to take advantage of your familiars. Now you might notice, I have Trickstar, Gym, and Gremlin, and Mole Shaman. Alright, I have a 5% increase of infirm capacity, meaning I have 700,000 in my infirm space now. Not only do I have that, but I have the Stroke of Fortune ability completely maxed out, so I'm getting 1,000 to 2,000 gems every 2 days. And, to make it even better, I even get 3 random Holy Stars every 2 days, okay? So for me, it is really, really easy to bounce, especially when I also am not falling too far behind on my Goblin now, and I'm even working on getting the Gather skill with Evil Weevil all the way complete. Alright, now in my experience, you know, getting these familiars are some of the more valuable familiars you can get. Of course, you know, you can get the Heartbeat if you want shelter capacity or VIP items, but I mean, for the most part, you know, you might notice that I'm also coming back and I'm working on Territe because, again, anybody and everybody who's probably had Territe will tell you that he is a good familiar to have. And I totally agree. So I went through and started maxing him. But more importantly, right, the main goal here is I also got Hoarder. Now I'm starting to max his ability as well because I'm getting more gems every month now because of it. So where I'm at with it right now is in 17 days I will have 71,000 for a payout. Taking 35k out, I'm getting about 40-ish thousand gems a month. Alright, now to bounce even further, I'm also in rank 80 and I've got 5 in there plus another 4 that I can use. And I'm bouncing down in the Coliseum every single day. Alright, and that's a really easy way to acquire an enormous number of gems. It's an easy way to acquire an enormous amount of Holy Stars, and it's an easy way to basically get everything in automation. Now, when it comes to actually getting resources and stuff of that nature, like, in my experience, okay, you can either build multiple hypers, okay? Now, I think if I had in my possession multiple hyper accounts, it'd be great, but I don't have that ability. So rather than, you know, I don't know, how do you say, build a bunch of hyper accounts, I just go looking for the people that have hyper accounts and attack them. It's simple and it's really not that difficult. So, you know, I'm obviously building up some tier 4s now. Obviously, don't have very many right now, but that's kind of the idea, all right, behind being able to build up, is you've got to be able to do those kind of things. Is you got to look for your free-to-play alternatives. So, like, the Trove is a big one, but not even just the Trove, really. You got to be able to go through and you've got to be able to get those kind of bonuses. And, of course, you know, what is the big secret that I've been telling you about? Is it any of this? No. Actually, my secret is the fact that basically, I harbor energy like a mother trucker. Because the reason I was able to build the amount of tier 4 that I was able to build in only 2 months was through energy. The reason why is because the more energy you can save and then wait for this event, okay? I have gone ham on this event and I have learned to just keep going ham on this event because literally, you'll come out with like hundreds of thousands of Holy Stars. You'll come out with days, weeks, months worth of speed ups at the end of it. And literally, okay, I come back out of it almost every time completely wealthy as all hell with it. And then I basically, from that point forward, I can take the small army of, 250,000 troops. And really, like I've told you guys, really all it takes is 250,000 infantry. That's all I need. Okay, tier 4 infantry is all I really need. Okay, I could, if I wanted to, I could go looking for, some tier 4 range and tier 4 cap, but for the most part, okay, since the infantry have most of the infirm space, it makes no sense to build the other units when you're trying to go for resources. And as you guys all know, I'm part wall trap too. Okay, am I a perfect wall trap? Oh, hell no. Like, I could do a hell of a lot more by increasing the wall HP and the amount of attack that my traps do. And yes, okay, you will see more of this coming from me here in the near future. It's just that, at the moment, you might notice that I went ahead, I pretty much destroyed all of those buildings that were infirms, convert them all over to manors, and basically the cycle starts all over again. I go through in my talents tree and I immediately increase my stone, construction, timber, research, and training speed. And I basically sit there and I harbor off of basically the gather run ability, which takes 4 hours worth of resources and gives it to you. Now, you might notice that, right now I've got about 1 million in an hourly production, which is not bad, but if I want like a substantial amount, all I got to do is tweak it. Now, see, the thing is I've paid attention to this since the day I started playing. Okay, a lot of players, I think, when they initially start out, they don't pay attention to this shit, but there's production rates to these pieces of gear. They all have unique abilities. For example, like stone production off of the Gargantua belt is one of the only couple pieces of gear in the game that actually do that, okay? But, and more interestingly, okay, if you wanted, in this case, maybe I want timber, stone, and ore, okay? Then I'm going to look for all the gear that gives me stone, timber, and so on. Yeah, obviously you can get gather production if that was your aim, or gold production, but again, it just kind of depends on what exactly you're aiming for here. Now, in my case, I'm kind of looking forward to probably preferable, if I was to choose anything, I kind of want to work on, looks like I don't really get a whole lot of say in this, but I'm looking just to be sure. Yeah, I'm gonna say we're probably gonna end up picking this. And again, just mind you, what I'm aiming for here though is anything that's gonna give me stone production, anything that gives me basically a production boost. In this case, gold production is gonna be the main theme here, but like here, there's timber production, which we'll go ahead and grab that. Let's see, what else could I use? I bet you, yeah, there's timber production on this. And of course, yes, I could, if I wanted to, go with this, and that gives you gold and food. But for all extensive purposes, until those buildings are at 25, gold production ain't going to be a hellish amount. There's stone production here, so we'll go ahead and grab that. And then there's also ore production with the vials. So I may just want to choose vials over the stone production, since the amount of ore production you get out of that's quite extensive. But now that's a fairly even across, and now you'll notice that I'm doing about 1 million into each resource. So that means now that 4 hours worth is like 4 million resources. Every resource every couple days. Doesn't sound like a lot, but if you're sitting here slowly building up like I do, it's a good way to just kind of build your resource count up without, breaking the bank. Obviously, 2 to 4 million gold with gold diggers, really good. But I mean, otherwise, it's, for me, it's the constant challenge of being able to consistently build up. And right now, the new goal is really getting pack 4s. So in case anybody wanted to know, right? How much does it take you to get a pack 4 familiar all the way completed? All right, basically to go from this, it's like 20, depending on the familiar. It's actually dependent on the familiar. You notice that like here, it's 25. So depending on the familiar, all right, the more, I want to say, difficult it is, okay, you'll notice that the actual count is higher. So it's 25 versus 20. And then in the case of Helldrider, okay, it's 200 medals. All right, so it's quite a considerable amount. Will I get it? You damn right I will. Okay, I will get that medal count by the end of the month, and I will eventually then max out his Elder Stage ability, and then I'll just start popping his ability left and right for the tier 4 units. But I mean, the other thing too, right, when it comes to being a rally trap that I think a lot of people should definitely pay attention to is in the Tempestite, you definitely might want to grab his first ability if you haven't already. And you also want to go through and get the max allied troop size. I'm working on this as well. So that's another thing. Again, just keep that in consideration, okay? Because those are just little things that I'm working on, and that's really all I had to say. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out the next video, and I'll see you guys next time.